Kia ora everyone, rough one today. I broke my rule, overtraded and ended up red on the day. Let's take a look at what happened and what I should have done differently. So, take a look at my trades today. I took 11 trades today. I am only meant to be taking one or maybe a recovery trade if I go into the red at the start of the day. Which happened today, LGCB, I went red on straight away at $15 down, and then another trade on AVTE, which I shouldn't have taken at all, down $49. My best trade today was on BCTX though. I got 83 cents a share on that trade, up $83, and that brought me into the green, $19. So I was actually up $19 here, and that's where I should have walked away. Yeah, so if I take a look at my profit margin here, so you can see here, P&L on the day, I was up $19 here. That's probably where I should have walked away and called it a day. I reached a base hit on the day, and maybe after fees and stuff, I might have been down, maybe another $3, $4 maybe, but I still would have been green. But I kept trading, and I just took some really not very good trades after that. So let's go and have a look at the chart. I'm actually going to bring up the video. So my first trade on LC, the leading gainer on the morning, LGCB, you can see here on the video, I'm just going to run at 2 times speed. It's pushed up, it's broken this pivot here. I'm a bit late getting in. I should have been getting in as it broke, but I put an order in and it pushed up here. I was expecting it to push back to 3. Nice volume here on this candle. MACD's open and looking for a clean push up before 7 a.m. To $3 where I was going to take my profit. It didn't. It basically, sorry, I'm just going to rip through this. It got to about $7 and then pulled back, and there's still about 3.5 minutes to go until 7 a.m. and I thought, oh well, at 7 it might push, so I'll hold it till 7. But really, it's broken the bottom of that red candle there, and I should have just been out. And here again, it's at the 9 EMA, and it's holding that support level there. The blue is the 9 EMA, and it's pushing back up, so I was feeling a bit more confident. But it just couldn't break through that level there at around 290, 288, and it just comes down here. See here, it's failing. And once it breaks that level there, it's pretty much gone. So that was the biggest push it had. And in big red candle, big volume on the red candle here, that should have been indicated to get out straight away. But I didn't. I kept holding, looking for it to push higher. It didn't, and this is where it's looking pretty bad, and then it breaks, and then I'm out. So as soon as it broke there, I should have been getting out. I should have been getting out earlier actually, when these higher volume red candles were showing on the chart. And that's sort of got to be something to be more aware of when I'm trading, is looking at the volume and using that as a gauge sometimes to really get out of my trade. Also with that trade, it had gone on for so long, I should have been out anyway. But that's the way it goes. So next trade was on AVTE. So this popped up around 10 past 7. So I'll just fast forward to there. AVTE, here it is here. So it had pushed up, pulled back, and it had pushed again off this level here, and I put placed an order here, thinking it was going to hold support and push back. But really, this was not a trade that I should have taken. It hasn't really proven itself. Volume hasn't really come in on the green side yet. It's all pretty much red. Big red candle here, and big volume red candle. The MACD is closing, so that's not good. And these three red candles here aren't great either. The only positive is that there was a decent sized green candle. So I thought it might have enough to push back up to 350. Here I am changing my thing to VWAP. But it didn't, and this flushes down here, and I held through that. It basically flushed down there, and I sold pretty much straight away. I thought it might rally back up, but then I was just like, nah, it's pretty much gone back to where it started. I'm just getting out of it. So took my exit down here. That was a terrible trade, and one I shouldn't have taken at all. Next trade was on BCTX. So this is AREB. I did think about trading that, but never really got dialed in on it. So this was my trade on BCTX. It had pushed up, and then it made a high of 1137 and started pulling back, and it was sort of holding this level around 1070. So I thought I would buy in at 1070. Got filled here at 1076, and I'm looking for it to push back, and it pushed back straight away, and I took my profit pretty quickly. I probably could have held a bit longer and, you know, possibly got a bit better fill, but really happy with that trade. Obviously that was 5 times the speed, so it didn't happen quite that quick, but it was a very quick trade. But confident trade here, seeing that it was holding around there, and I jumped in early and got the push straight away, which was pretty good. So I was really happy with that. This brought me up to $19 profit on the day, and this is where I should have walked away. I didn't though. I kept watching BCTX, and really it's pulled back. This is the front side of the move. Sorry, all those on here. This was the front side of the move here, and I basically caught the last part of that move. 83 cents a share on that trade. I was really happy with that. Now it's pulling back. It's had a decent pullback here, back down to around $9.90, $10. And it's sort of trading sideways around the VWAP. So it was sort of just bouncing up and down. And this is where I took my second trade on BCTX, because what was the time? It was just after 8 o'clock, and I thought it might put in another big move. But it had some pretty good news as well. They'd put out some good news, and I thought maybe it hadn't finished. It would push again around 8 o'clock. And this entry was not a good entry. So I'm looking at buying at 1024. So I'm buying on this level here that has sort of shown some support along this line. What I should have really done is waited to see if it broke through VWAP and actually, you know, pushed and broke through this pivot point here to show that it was actually bullish. Because at the moment it's not. It's sort of holding here, but it's on the wrong side of the VWAP. And so what happened is pushed up there, couldn't break over that level. I got filled on as it pulled back, and then it struggled. It struggled to break over 10.20, 10.17, and it came back, and then it started dropping. And as soon as it started dropping, I took my exit. I did not want to be caught in a massive flush on this thing. You know, it went up over, how much did it go up? Yeah, so it pushed from like $5.50 up to $12.37. That was a big move. And I didn't want to be on something that was going to drop another dollar. So that second trade, let's see. Yeah, I lost 39 cents a share on that second trade, and that was pretty quick. ZENA. So this wasn't a bad trade. This was actually, so I bought it on the support of VWAP and the 9 EMA. It had pushed up, pulled back, gone sideways a little bit, curled, and then pushed up and broke that high, that previous high there. And I thought I would buy in on around the support level on the 9 EMA and VWAP. But eventually pushed back higher, red to green on that candle, and I took my exit. It's sort of struggling here, but pushes up to about 310, I think. Yeah. And I got out at around 309. So, decent little trade. Thought about holding for a break, but I just wanted to lock in the profit once it had reached, you know, over my profit target. So, $24 on that trade, which is quite good. Next trade was on, was that Vivs? This was a terrible trade. So it popped up to 422, pulled back down to VWAP just below, and I looked at taking it for the break back through VWAP. And I sort of missed the initial break. It's having a, well, actually what happened is I'm in here and it's not showing my full order because of my order mark, so my order didn't get filled cleanly. I only got 89 shares out of 100. So I've actually been filled 89 shares here. So I got filled 89 shares there at 335. I cancelled the order to fill the rest. It pushes up to 350 and is struggling, and you can see on the level 2 here at 350, there's only 900 on the ask there. So the amount of orders that are going through at 350, 283 shares, a bit lighter down the bottom here, but 280 down here, 200 down here, 83 down here, and you know, there's more going through. So it's just not breaking through that 350 level, and I should have just gotten straight out. Obviously a hidden seller up there, and just not being able to break through that 350 level. So I only got filled one share at 350. So I bought in 89, had 89, and then only 88 got, only one share out of my 89 got filled at 350. So I'm still in, and instead of cancelling the order to sell and just getting out on the bid altogether on this trade, I actually held, waiting for it to push back to 350 so I could, you know, fill the rest of my order. Didn't happen. In fact, it just pulled back, and like, I should be out now. This is where I should be taking it. It's, you know, it's broken down below, it's broken down below this line here. below the bottom of that green candle wick, and that's you know, I should be getting out, because now it's probably just going to keep going down, although it does rally a little bit off the 9 EMA, but not really. And still holding, so this is not a good trade. I'm going to speed it up a bit more. So this is where it just sort of flushes down, and so it comes down to the 20 EMA and I'm out there. So I really should have sold when it broke here, and that would have been a smaller loss. But that was my biggest loss of the day. That was 58 cents a share. It wasn't 100 shares at least, it was only 88, but still 88 shares is a loss of 51.04. Yeah, 58 cents a share, so 51.04 loss on the day. That wasn't the only one that I lost 50 cents on. Next trade I took was on, I was back to BCTX as it was rallying. Now I draw in the support line, and every time it hit the support line there was an opportunity to buy in. And I didn't buy in when it hit the support line, and eventually I did here at $9. It was around, yeah, $9.90. So I'm in there at $9.90, and then it pulls back, and it did rally back up, and I did make a profit on it, but you know, really this is not following my strategy. I'm below VWAP. It is going up and it's trending up, but you know, I'm not trading the right area, and drawing this great support line where I should be buying in at the support when it hits it. So here I've drawn it, and you know, I'm putting orders in and then cancelling them, and there was you know, that was an entry there as it hit that support line. I did shift it a bit, and then there again is another entry point on that support trend line, and when I finally do, it's too close to VWAP, and now it's, you know, and it's also had, you know, it's broken here. It's broken here over that pivot. It's pushed up, pulled back, pushed up again, pulled back, and that's twice, 2 pullbacks. And, you know, buying the third pullback is always risky. But I bought there because I was expecting it to push through to the VWAP. It didn't. It pulled back, dropped below the trend line, and I held through that pullback, and it did push back up to that trend line, and that's where I took my profit as it touched that trend line again. Now that support line's now become resistance, so that's why I took my profit off the table there. I did make $23 on that trade, so that was okay. It was a decent sort of base hit, but you know, maybe it could have held through that consolidation as it did finally break VWAP here, or come up to VWAP on that support. I don't think it, yeah, and this is where I got back in. I got back in here. Really, there was an entry here as it came to the 9 EMA. That was probably an entry along here, and it did push up there. But I was pretty confident in taking that trade there, pull back onto the VWAP, looking for it to break back through and push up. I held through that pullback, looking for it to go higher, but it was coming into the open. So it's struggled to break through 960, and really I could have taken it off the table up here if I'd been quick enough to sell on the bid, or possibly on the ask up here, but I didn't sell there. And as it came into the open, I thought, well, there's a possibility that it will push higher, but there's also a possibility that the stock will just dump, and I didn't want to take the risk. So before it went into the open, I basically thought it might push here. I was giving it one last chance to push back up, and sort of the volume did come in a little bit here and sort of pushed up to the VWAP, but I was like, no, I can't risk it. I'm just going to get out. So I sold here, and then open, what does it do? It pushes up to 982. I could have taken it off the table at 970, and I probably would have been back into the green again on the day. Wouldn't have been by much, probably about maybe $10 or something like that. But then it pulled back, and that was pretty much it for what was the BCTX? Yep. I did think about taking a trade on it here as it pulled back, and I thought, oh, maybe it's going to hold, hold this level along here. But I decided not to do it. I decided, no, we'll just see what it does first. And glad I made that decision, because it didn't rip, it dumped. XLEB was the next trade. So it's pushed up to 420 after coming out of a halt up, and then it's curling back up and breaking through VWAP. I made the mistake of putting an order here on VWAP, looking for the retest of VWAP. So what I was looking for was it to hit resistance up here. There's a bigger order up here on 379. So pull back and then take an entry around VWAP. This is a bad habit of mine, is that I buy when it's coming down, especially around VWAP. I tend to buy these drops, and it's not a good idea, because like that dropped right through my order and went, where am I in it, 355 or something like that, and it's gone down to 310 on that flush, and it did rally up, and I could have got out break even, which would have made sense. But here I'm looking for it to retest that pivot point. So instead of me just getting out, and then it flushes again, and I'm still thinking it's going to go, but eventually I do give in as it rallies back up. I take it out, take it off the table. So not a good trade at all. Terrible entry idea, and also just held too long in the exit. Should have taken it off the table as it broke, as it came up here, and I could have been out break even, or roughly break even, and that would have been the day. So that put me down $80.89. So I watched TMC come up here, and by this stage I was quite tired as well. I've been trading for a while, and it's 11:45 market time. So I am nearly 2 hours over my finish time for my session. So discipline had really lacked in that last session. I really got carried away trying to make it back into the green after I dropped into the red again. As it shows green on the 10-second chart here, yeah, I'm in. So I bought in that pullback, pushes up, and just going to speed it up a bit. So good entry there, and should be looking at taking my exit. It is showing a bit of, it's struggling a little bit. And see this candle here, this volume candle here, it's starting to get a little bit lighter. It's hit 370, which is 5 cents below the high. So this is a good trade. It's not the biggest trade. It's hitting sort of the minimum 10 to 15 cents range for me to take profit, but it's in profit, and that's where I should have taken it. And it's also, you know, now it's a red candle. So it's developing a red candle now after a big push, and considering the time of day, I should have really got out at 368 to 370. But I don't, and I hold it and keep holding it until it turns into a loser, which is kind of what I did last night, or this session. So here I'm thinking, oh, it's got to pull back, it'll push back up. And I think here, I'm thinking, oh, it's curling and it's going to push and then break. So that's why I'm sort of holding, but that there, I got out. So it broke down through there and I just took the loss. It wasn't a huge loss. It was actually only $9.99. So only 9 cents, around 10 cents a share a loss on that one. And that was pretty much the day. So 4 green trades, 7 red, only 37%, 36% accuracy, risk reward ratio 1.03, which is not actually that bad, but it's mainly because of the 83 cents a share on BCTX, and a couple more decent trades on the ones that I actually got green on. But definitely not good. That wraps up day 37, a frustrating red day and a reminder of how quickly things can unravel. Overtrading cost me, and I've got to be better at walking away when I hit my target. Appreciate you watching. Hit subscribe to follow the journey as I work to build more discipline and consistency. See you next week, and have a good weekend. Hei te rā wiki.